Hey, hi all, welcome to Script QA. Okay, in previous session we have learned about the for loop and while loop. In this particular session we are going to learn about the do while loop. Okay, now so far we have understood any loop we have to take care of three things. Okay, initialization, condition, increment or decrement. Okay, so these are the three things we have to take care of any loop. Okay, now we will quickly see about the while loop. Okay, and then we'll move to the do while loop. Okay, so in while loop what basically we are doing, we are first of all initializing the variable. Okay, so let's say I is equal to, let's say 0. So this is something my initialization. Okay, so first thing that we can say, this is the step number 1. Step 1 is initializing the variable. Okay, step 2, what we are doing, we are giving the condition. So step 2 is I'm giving the condition, and step 3 I'm doing the increment or decrement. Okay, so this is my step number 3. So basically in while loop we are taking care of these three steps. First is the initializing variable, second thing giving the condition, and third thing increment and decrement the variable. Okay, now Now, syntax of do while loop as well, somehow similar to this one only. Okay, so I'll just quickly open the do while syntax. Okay, so this is the do while syntax. Do while syntax. Okay, so first thing, step number 1, what you need to do, you need to initialize the variable. First you need to initialize the variable. Then step 2, you will be having do block. Okay, and that particular do block, you have to do the step number 2. Okay, I will say step number 2 this again. Okay, step number 2, increment and decrement the variable value, and then lastly you have to provide the condition. That is the step 3. You have to see, first you have to initialize the variable. First thing you have to initialize. Okay, then you will be having do block. So in do block basically you have to write the entire code. In do block basically you have to write the entire code that you want to execute repetitively. You have to write the entire code that you want to execute repetitively. Okay, and lastly you have to do the increment and decrement. Okay, now if you see here, while comes at the end, and for while you are passing the condition as well. And if you see after while you have to provide the semicolon. So this is the difference between syntax of the while and do while. In while, first of all you have to write the condition. Okay, while condition, and here if you see here, after do block you have to provide the while block. Okay, so we'll see the difference between do and while later. Okay, but this is the syntax wise different. Okay, in do while basically you have to provide the do block, and after do block you have to provide the condition, and after you provide the condition you have to give the semicolon as well, so that it will be end the loop. Okay, so now we will quickly jump on Eclipse. So now I have one class already created, that is a do while in Java. Okay, now as per syntax, first I have to provide the initialization. So I will say initialization, I'll say I, or maybe int I. Let's say I want to print the number 1 to 10. I want to print the number 1 to 10. Okay, so in that case what I will do, I'll say int I is equal to 1, right, because I want to print from the 1, right. So I will say I'll initialize I is equal to 1. Okay, then I'll say do this thing. Okay, and after do I have to say the while as well. Okay, and while I will be having condition. Okay, in do basically I will write the code which I want to execute repeatedly. In this case I want to print the I repetitively, so I will say print I. Okay, and what will be the condition? till I less than 10, less than or equal to 10, I less than or equal to 10. Now here in do block I have to do one more thing, that is the increment or decrement. In this case my initial value is I have to reach till here, right? So I will say I plus plus. Okay, and what I will do, I will give the semicolon as well here. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so if you run this particular program, it will print the 1 to 10 number. If you see, it's printing the 1 to 10 number. Okay, now if I simply debug this particular program, okay, so I will add debugger here. Okay, and how to add the debugger? Just double click here. Okay, it will be at this dot. Okay, then I have to right click and I have to say debug as Java application. Okay, when I do the debug as Java application, it will ask to switch to the debugger view, so I will say switch. Okay, now my control is here, this highlighted line is my control. Okay, now if you see, there are two buttons available, one is the step in and one is the step over. Okay, so I will do the step over in this case. I'll say step over, so it will go to the next line, that is the do block. Now my value of I is how much? It is 1 because I initialize the I is equal to 1. So it will be print the 1. Okay, it will increment the value of I by 1. Okay, and it will go to the while. Okay, it will go to the while. Now in while it will check the condition I is less than or equal to 10, that is the 2 is less than or equal to 10. Condition is true. It will go to the again do block. Okay, it will execute the it will print the I value of I, that is the 2 now, and now it is again increment the value of I by 1, that is the now 3. If you see, value of I is 3 now. Okay, now again it will check the condition 3 is less than or equal to 10. So condition is true, 3 is less than or equal to 10. So it will go to the do block and it will again execute the system.out.println I. Okay, basically it will print the I. Okay, so value of I is 3. Again it will increment the I by 1, so 3 plus 1, it will be 4. All right, and it will check the 4 is less than or equal to 10. So condition is true. All right, so it will do this thing till value of I equal to 10. Okay, now value of I is 11. In this case it will check I is less than, if you see, value of I is 11, right? So it will check 11 is less than or equal to 10. So condition is true or false. So condition is false, it will go in the loop, it will go outside the loop and it will not execute the 11, it will not print the 11. If you see, it's not printing the 11 now. Okay, so this is how we can debug the this particular do while loop. Okay, now what is difference between while loop and do while loop? Okay, so if I open the while loop program, okay, in while loop I am doing the initialization. If you see, in this while loop I am doing the initialization. Okay, initialization, and same I am printing 1 to 10 number, right? If you see, I am printing the 1 to 10 number. Okay, now what I will do, I will say print from the 12. Now it will check 12 is less than or equal to 10. So what will happen? Condition will be false here. Okay, if the condition will false, it will not print the value of I. It will not go inside the loop and it will not print the value of I. If I run this particular program, the output will, it will not print anything. If you see, it's not printing anything. Okay, but now if I, in case of do while loop, if I initialize this as a 12. Okay, so first of all, what will happen, it will go inside the do block. Okay, it will go inside the do block, it will print the value of I, it will increment the value of I by 1 and then it will be checked. Okay, if I run this particular program, it will print the 12. It should not, basically it should not be in case of while loop, but do while loop, your loop will always get execute at least once. Okay, your loop doesn't matter what is the condition. If I run this, If you see, it's printing the 12 only. Okay, if you see, it's printing the 12. Right, why it is printing the 12? If you see, the condition is false itself here, right? Because I is less than or equal to 10, but it is the do while block, right? It is the do while block. All right, so if it is do while, then at least once your loop is going to execute. At least this is the difference between while and do while loop, if the condition will fail, it will not print anything. Okay, but in do while, your loop is at least going to execute once. Your loop is going to execute at least once. Okay, I think that's it about the do while loop. In upcoming session, we'll take some programs on loops. Okay.